welcome. If you have been longing to start your Qanun journey, watch this. So, when you start your Qanun journey, you are probably nervous, you're excited, you have a mixture of emotions, and you're probably even more nervous if you're one of those people who have been told that you're too old, haven't studied music theory, don't know Maqam, not a native Arab, fill the blank. Too difficult. All of these are myths. And there's so much noise around learning Qanun, I must say, which is why I'm coming here to burst the bubble. Because there is a solution, and the solution is this beautiful success path that I have created, which basically eliminates all the overwhelm and helps you focus on the very few things that matter and forget about everything else. Isn't that nice? So when you start your Qanun journey, you need to focus on very few things. And there are 5 stages to the success path. Each stage has certain milestones and certain things to focus on. And guess what? When you're in each stage, you just have to focus on the milestones of each stage and forget absolutely everything else. Cool? So stage 1, that is a very tender, a very sweet stage. It's probably one of the fastest stages. So one of the milestones that you are to hit when you start this stage is knowing how to look after your Qanun. You know how to tune it. You know how to maintain it. It's a sensitive instrument, it's a delicate instrument, and if you're living in the US or Europe, it's not readily available. You need to look after it as if it's your child. Or a little bird or a little pet, whatever you want to look at it. I mean, I have some of my students who give names to their Qanuns, and that's fine. If you don't want to go there, that's also fine. But you need to know how to look after it, okay? So you need to also know how to navigate the levers. You don't need to know, at this stage, you just need to know something called standard lever position, which I have spoken about in a different video. I'll link to that below. And basically how to put the Qanun in the standard lever position so you know how to tune it. And you have some basic understanding of what to do with these knobs. That's all, okay? You know how to hold it, you know how to store it. This is all hugely important stuff. And this is like the absolute, basis of everything. Cool? That's milestone number 1. Milestone number 2 is that you play your first tune. And I don't care if it's like something that is like 4 measures. It's like less than a minute. I don't care. You immediately play. Even if it's like something as simple as that, it's طلعت يا محلى نورها, by the way. So something very simple, you play your first tune and you have a basic understanding of the correct posture. Okay? So that's your second milestone. And that leads me to the third milestone, is the mindset. So this is hugely important. When you're starting a Qanun journey, it's so important to have an overview of what is coming. And learning Qanun is not something that is done overnight. I didn't learn this instrument overnight. I have been playing it for 29 years. It has been my companion since I was a child, since I was 8-year-old. So it is a journey. And one of the most important things I would say as a third milestone for stage 1 in the Qanun success path is embrace making mistakes. And you're like, oh Maya, but I'm so anxious. I feel terrible making mistakes. It just means that I'm not doing things properly. I'm not good enough. It's not for me. Embrace making mistakes. The more mistakes you make, the better. Okay? I'm not saying just like linger in your mistakes. Embrace making mistakes as part of this journey. Don't be scared of making mistakes. When I started, I used to mess up big time. It's normal. Everybody does. It's absolutely important. So release the expectation that you need to be perfect. Okay? Number 2 is celebrate your wins, no matter how small. I believe in the 1% everyday improvement. 1% each day. Teeny tiny incremental improvements over time lead to amazing results. And I'm borrowing the saying of Robin Sharma here. But that absolutely applies to learning Qanun, to learning an instrument. 1%. Commit to being 1%. And the most important thing is that commit to noticing that 1%. After you play, just give yourself a few seconds to reflect on and what went well, and just give yourself a pat on the back, or make yourself a nice cup of tea or hot chocolate if you fancy. Celebrate and acknowledge the wins. I have some students who write down what went well, just to really ingrain that in their mind, really. And because that really, the act of writing things down really makes it real and tangible. So that is number 2. And number 3 is, which is so important, which I really find in beginners, and it's a biggie, is just be wary of shiny object syndrome. A lot of people, again, think that, oh my gosh, I need to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Oh my gosh, I just need to do everything. I need to do all the ornamentation techniques and, you know, all of the stuff. And all of the arpeggios, and you don't have to do any of that at the beginning. Release shiny object syndrome. Focus on the very few things that matter. Okay? So as a reminder again, these few things that matter are A, knowing how to look after your Qanun, how to tune it, how to store it, how to maintain it, how to change strings, what to do with it when you travel, all of that. How to put it in standard lever position, even if it's very slow, even if it takes you like 15 minutes to put it, it's fine. As long as you know, it's all good. Yeah? Number 2 is to play your first tune with correct posture. The smallest and most simplest tune done imperfectly is the way to start. Many people think like, oh, you have to just spend years just learning music theory. Boring, who needs that? Play. That's the way to learn. You learn by experience, and that's the most fun way from my experience teaching many people from all over the world. Okay, and number 3 is your mindset, which revolves around 3 very important points. Point number 1: embrace making mistakes. Just say, I will make mistakes. It's fine. I'll learn from my mistakes. I'll move on. But it's cool to make mistakes. Okay? You have my full permission to make mistakes. Number 2 is celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Commit to 1% every day. Okay? And number 3 is release all expectations around shiny object syndrome. Don't try to do everything at once. Just focus on these very few things that I have outlined and do them well. And that's it. You're good. So I hope that you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments if you did. I will continue the series talking about the other 4 stages of learning Qanun. And if you're watching this video by the time of its release, then I am thinking of doing a challenge for Qanun players, and I'd love to hear from you which one you need the most. Do you need a challenge about learning Qanun from scratch in 5 days? Do you need a challenge about the fundamentals of Qanun, the 5 fundamentals of Qanun, which are practice, technique, mindset, maqam, ornamentation, and taqsim? And option number 3 is, do you want a challenge to learn maqam with Lego? Let me know in in the comments. Again, I hope that you found this helpful, and I will see you in the next video of the series. Sending you all my love. You can do this.